Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sean with U.S. Support, LLC Win, and we're all about stopping Mugshot Extortion on this podcast. Just to kind of give you a rundown of some of the recent endeavors that have occurred, I took on some employment for doing some, kind of forensic investigative work for a lawyer by the name of Justin Meehan. He's out of St. Louis, and there's a case that definitely has the potential to be very monumental and famous coming up here, as far as the STL Mugshots owner, Edmund Tauk. Apparently they're pursuing some charges against him. It looks like the most it could possibly be would be essentially like a misdemeanor as where it stands right now, which is kind of shocking considering like those guys that got shipped off, Thomas Keesee, and the other one, I don't know, it's some weird ass names, Sahar, Sarid, something, but basically, like, yeah, I mean, they just basically got them on recording on the phone, talking like tough guys, and tricked them into basically saying the wrong things, and they got them for extortion, and that's a big deal. That's definitely a felony you're going to do some time for. And I would have to say I don't think they really have a whole lot to look forward to, because I mean, in all honesty, it's like, well, I don't think anybody on the outside is going to let it go. And I mean, just to kind of paint a little bit of a picture for anybody that hasn't been to prison, basically whatever prison yard they end up on, it's going to show up online. And all it really is going to take is somebody that has been to prison, that knows a little bit about the system, and they just have to contact somebody that's on that yard and just let them know what's up, basically. And chances are they'll have some paperwork run on them anyway. That's just like they'll usually, there's somebody that'll be in there that will be able to make a phone call and have somebody access the internet on the outs, and they do that to make sure that they don't have any informants or any child molesters or anything in general population. So he's basically like, both of them are going to have to, essentially go to a protective custody yard, which means that they're going to be living with a bunch of child molesters and rapists. Like, sucks to be you, fools. Shouldn't be, snitches that extort people for a living. But, I guess so, yeah, they basically helping him out with that case. I gave him some insight. It's a little too early for me to say, but I'm pretty sure I got a good solid lock on a couple aspects of that case with Mr. Tauk. Recently had a big issue with Twitter. They apparently banned about kind of a sweatbag. I had like 180 something accounts. It's a lot, but I was doing a lot to counter all the mugshot spammers. I mean, they got just as many accounts. I mean, I'm sure the Watson fellow, he's probably got over 1,000 easily. Just he's got a bunch of like fake social signal generating ones where he talks his his BS like aggregation up, and then then he's got like, I think like 60 something spamming accounts, and I mean the list just goes on. But so basically they end up banning all these accounts, and they don't give me any form of warning or anything, and I knew it was hand done, because like if it was like some type of like like if they just somehow determine which ones retweeted like specific couple of retweets, it's like I was very random in how I was doing it, because I was trying to not get labeled as anything but organic. So I was actually manually controlling them with just like a really I was just doing like 20 stack high tweet decks where you just get like 20 accounts, and you put it on one tweet deck controller, and then another 20 accounts. So I was essentially making it so like because a couple times Watson would go through and he'd sit there and he'd lock them all, and I didn't have enough Google Voices to cover 180. I only had like maybe 50. So I was just trying to avoid getting him locked by his like stupid, annoying like repetitious like Python script that he's trying to proclaim like he didn't do or something, but it's like not retarded. And so basically they cherry picked the ones that he identified. I mean, it's evident. I mean, because if it was like something relevant to like IPs, or what had recently retweeted something, if they based it off of that, the manner in which they missed, they sloppily missed quite a few of the accounts, because they had more than what they banned. But that in itself just tells me very solidly that Twitter, this is probably, if you just look at it for a little bit, you can just tell. It's like Twitter, Facebook, and Google all not only condone, because they try to play it off like they're just like this neutral party. Like when you talk to them and you're like, hey, I got this mugshot and it's in Google, and I want to get rid of that. And usually what they'll do, they give you the whole, we're sorry, unfortunately, it's like he's protected under the First Amendment. And it's like, really? Because I thought you guys owned the platform, and didn't you just ban a bunch of people for no random reason, whatsoever? Just no rhyme, no reason. You can't just do the morally right thing. It's like, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't commit a violent offense, no sexual assaults. It was a non-dangerous, non-repetitive, drug charge, and I just would appreciate if you all would go ahead and make sure that when I go to apply, for something, or somebody looks up my web designing company, that they don't see a bunch of, slander and defamation, and much respect, and I would greatly appreciate it. No, they're not going to do that, because that would be taking money out of their pocket. See, because Google essentially, owns Twitter and YouTube, and Facebook is, its own entity, but they make money on it as well. But they make money two different ways. They got the Google AdSense ads that are on the websites of the extortionists, and then of course they make a boatload of money from the click ads, because the extortionists own the websites that also do the removals. I've done like backlink traces and whatnot, so I know like which ones are affiliated with which ones, and bottom line is they're paying like $40 a click, so Google is going to let them get away with pretty much anything. They're just as sweatily contributing to the revolving door of prisons, as every other entity in this world, it seems. So yeah, he got on the phone, he started whining, because basically I got a Twitter account and I got it to second place, and it was like right next to his actual website, and it was actually starting to deter a pretty significant amount of traffic. Like I was getting phone calls, and people were asking me, well, how do I get rid of this for free? You said on your site you can do it for free, and it's like, I had all the literature up. If you go to ussupportllc.win, basically it's known as an evil twin, because he's trying to go around telling people that I'm like, I copied his name, or like I'm stealing his identity. No, that's not the case. What it is this is America, and just like he went and took it upon himself to make a website in my name, which he did, basically intrude upon my life and steal, basically my name, and it's called brandjacking essentially, but there's nothing illegal about it. So he's gotten a couple accounts like temporarily blocked, till I had to go back and cuss people out and be like, look, dude, I own ussupportllc.win, he owns ussupportllc.com, and there's absolutely no law against that. And if you look on my website, it clearly states exactly my intentions, and this is exactly my intention. It's known as an exact match data. When you take the keyword that you're trying to rank for, okay, and you put it in the domain, it gives you a very nice boost. If you, of course, you have to do a lot more to the website than just simply that, but if you do everything and you maximize everything to its fullest, it gives you a ridiculous boost and an advantage over your competitors. Obviously he's got the same thing going, but that gets me by like all the other stupid shit eventually. Once I get a little bit more link juice, it's going to get me through like the whatever the rip-off report thing that's on there. Like I made it to slot number 7, but yeah, ultimately the goal is I get it to like second. I don't have to get first, I just have to have it right next to his advertising free do-it-yourself removals. And then additionally, I'm starting to rank for things like free mugshot removal. I'm not even on board yet for reputation management, but I'm working on that one as well. And this is one of the strategies. And it's like I'm also I've co-aligned with right to remove, and they basically are a movement, that's currently basically their whole motives are to get the right to remove that they have over in Europe over here in the United States, because that they're getting that additional freedom for their citizens, and they want to bring it over here, so that way they can force Google and all these other entities that are just spamming and spewing slander and monetizing off of it to put a wrench in their gears. Then I guess and the final thing that I was gonna touch up on is the whole Twitter thing. It's like that dude has been censoring things for years, and now finally people are starting to notice, and thank God, because the president is finally making that an issue. That's a relevant issue. See, I got I'm not a political person. I don't go left, I don't go right, I don't that shit, because I see politics realistically. It's like a distractive volley of sorts. It's you get basically a portion of the U.S., the masses of people, and then the other portion of the U.S., the ones that go with the other party, and you get them to basically butt heads and kind of not just focus upon the issues, but rather debate and argue amongst each other. And that's a very common strategy with elitists in this world. They get people, whether it's by religious manipulation, whether it's racial animosity, whether it's money and you want this and you want that and you got to work a bunch and we'll keep you occupied on that little hamster wheel. It's they come up with ways to distract you while they run around doing all this crooked shit. So I have absolutely nothing but disgust in my thoughts when I think of Twitter and Facebook. I mean, these people are criminals, and it's how dare you censor the American people as much as you have. And yeah, you can argue, well, it's a private company. Look, I don't care. Okay, when Tom had MySpace, he didn't censor nobody. I mean, yes, did he get manipulatively taken for all these people, and then they moved over? It's they had some one incident, minor incident in the news or something, some kind of fight or argument or assault or something over the top 8. People were fighting like idiots over who was going to be number 1 on the dude's top 8 or some shit. And now we're done with that top 8 shit. We got to move over to Facebook, and that's how we got everybody. And what is it really going to take? Well, it really is just going to take moving to a different platform. That's easier said than done, though, because I have tried, and people listen to me and they're inspired by all my words and wisdom, and then I ask them 2 days later, so did you sign up? It's always no. The answer is no. And the program I'm talking about is Minds.com, and Minds is pretty kick-ass because you can earn with your engagement and interaction, you earn these tokens, and they're actually a cryptocurrency of sorts, and supposedly they're to be worth money. I tried to look up the dollar amount on them, and I didn't see a USD exchange rate, but they they sit there and advertise that you can cash them out, but there's no point for that, because you can go on there and you can use the tokens to just hyper boost your posts. So it's you can post this is what I've been doing, is I go on there and I'll post a blog about Mugshot Extortion or whatever, and then I'll just put the first couple paragraphs of the actual blog, because it's going to be a 3,000 word blog on my main site, and then I just put a link and read more, bam, and then it's I boost that particular thing with one of the tokens, and that guarantees each time you boost it, because you can boost it I guess up to 900 times or something, which is ridiculous. So you can literally get 1,000 views guaranteed. 1,000 people are going to see that shit. They may not click on it, but if you make it flashy enough, and it's really not hard to compete on there. I mean, there's some really horribly done stuff. So I would check out Minds.com. And also thanks for listening. Stay tuned. I'm definitely going to be doing more of these, and check out the site. I have a very comprehensive, in-depth way of removing mugshots and conducting reputation management. Now when I say remove, I mean realistically delete and push them all to the back of search results, because realistically 91% of all searches don't go past the first page. So that's the only one you got to worry about, is getting everything off the first page, and you're usually good to go. So thanks for listening, everybody. Please subscribe to my podcast.